Thanks, guys. Today I am really delighted to be here at the iconic Zelig building, which is in Custard Factory, with Lynsey Le Keux, an amazing entrepreneur who has a business called Lynsey Le Keux Vintage. Hi, Lynsey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. So, delighted to be here. It's
Thank
really
you.
impressive. Tell us and tell the audience more about yourself and your business.
Sure. We are a vintage experience company. So what we aim to do is give people a little slice of 1940s, 50s, 60s lifestyle in one venue. So all under one roof. You can see we've got the salon. So we do vintage makeovers, come in and get dressed up like Marilyn Monroe or Betty Page or any kind of iconic starlet. We have a 50s diner, milkshake bar. So again, you feel like you're in the set of Grease, and we do parties in there and milkshakes and all sorts. And then the shop and other sides of the business, we also do have our own makeup, cosmetics and hair tools and hair products range as well, and also franchise the business. So that's really a growth strategy that I'm working on at the moment.
Okay, so lots of different arms to the business, which is wonderful. So I love that you're in the middle of the transformation. You're in the middle of Zelig building, Custard Factory. Tell me a little bit more what's going on around here.
Yeah, so a lot of transformation over here. So we have got the HS2 station right up the road here at Digbeth High Street. They're also bringing the tram down. So we have had a lot of roadworks here for a very long time. So that's been a real challenge because during lockdown, thought, right, let's invest in them, opening up the front door to the Digbeth High Street, let's get this cafe diner open and all that sort of thing. And just over COVID, brilliant, we're getting open again. And then of course all these roadworks came and foot traffic just went down to zero. So right, back to square one. How do we market this? How do we bring people down? How do we become a destination that people want to come to and fight all of those challenges that are coming down? Where do I park? How do I even get there? So yeah, always a new challenge when you just think you've got over the next one, but we keep going.
It's great development for the region, right? So once it's all done, it's going to be really, really marketable. It is kind of the place to be. I mean, the art out there is beautiful, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So how do you reach your customers? Because it's a service industry. It's about people feeling good, which is really important, especially after the kind of the COVID and the pandemic we've been through. Yeah. So how do you reach your customers? Tell me more about that.
We do a lot of social media, of course, because we've got a lot of beautiful aesthetics we can share with people across all the platforms. I'm trying to get onto TikTok. We're trying to do it. It's new for me. I'm a bit old for that, but I'm trying. So yeah, we're trying to make sure that we're on all the platforms for all our different customer bases. And building our mailing list is a massive strategy at the moment. We really understand that it's harder and harder to get engagement and traction on social media now. So how can we land in people's inboxes with something interesting and engaging and that they want to click on? So that's a real strategy. And a lot of word of mouth for us as well. We've been here about 12 years now. So we try and make sure that if a customer comes through the door, even just for a milkshake, that they know about everything else that we do. So maybe it'll take a year, but they might come back for a party. They might come back and have a photo shoot or buy a gift voucher. And I think that's what it is for us. That's the diversification strategy. It's like, come in for one thing, but maybe someone might want to do many of these other things that we offer.
So you've been set up in this wonderful building for quite a while, haven't you? So, and it hasn't been the first kind of modernisation or transformational change you've been through, is it? Tell me about that.
We started off here as a pop-up shop. I was doing everything mobile and kind of thought, right, let's create. I did a road trip across Route 66 and saw all of those amazing old diners and motels, and I fell in love with that aesthetic. I thought, well, I want to recreate that here in Birmingham, So had a pop-up shop, and luckily that was a success. So we took on, one section of this venue we've got, and then we took on more square footage and grew over the years, and then started another branch in Leeds. And I think my biggest challenge then was actually the pain of growth, because you sort of get into this thing, we've got enough clientele to fill this space, we need more space. So you take on more space. This venue's doing great, let's do another venue. And of course your costs escalate, and they escalate in a way that as a younger business person, if you like, or not young age, but younger in business, you don't realise, I'm going to lose my small business rates relief if I have two venues, and you learn that 6 months in and all this jazz. So, there was a real pain of growth and having our profit margin squeezed. So went through the process of figuring out how I'm going to grow this business and bring one of these branches to every city, which is definitely my goal. But decided that the best thing to do was to close my own second branch down, which was heartbreaking and felt at the time like a failure. But it was the right decision, because then I went into franchising. But actually, it's much better if someone else can start and run that branch, but it's still under our brand. I can still support them and mentor them, and I love that part of it. So again, you pull back and you try something new, constantly trying something different to see what will fit. And we're very niche, so we have to really think about that.
So in terms of recruiting staff and bringing on new talent, obviously if you're franchising, you're going to need employees. I know you did a lot with the Kickstarter scheme. So how are you dealing with that now the Kickstarter scheme is closed?
Yeah, it is a challenge. The Kickstart scheme was a huge support to us and enabled us to grow parts of the business and be able to open for longer hours after COVID and staff those hours and those different service provisions like the diner and the cafe and in the salon. And when that scheme ended and we couldn't necessarily sustain that many, that number of staff and sustain that salary budget ourselves, it was a bit of a, retract, how do we divide out those responsibilities amongst who's here, what's a priority? And went through a period of time like that and decided, actually, no, we do need to re-recruit again. So again, recently I've taken on another marketing and venue assistant. So Promise does a few days a week. She supports on all the social media. She supports across the venue doing lots of things. So, I find what really works for our business model is a sequence of part-timers. So we have people who have specific skill sets and work throughout the business on different days doing different things. And our business model has always been very lean on the staff side in terms of the budget. And we bring in freelancers when we need them. And when we don't, so over the winter, January, for example, we don't get a lot of hen parties. We don't have that staff bill. So we've always worked like that. But I mean, the Kickstart scheme was amazing because we'd have that consistent pool of staff, which was brilliant. But it did teach me actually the value of actually, if we, take that leap and actually, put your money where your mouth is, recruit that person. And then you realise the value having that additional pair of hands is. And for me, the biggest challenge is constantly trying to step out of the doing of the business and work on the business. That's the biggest challenge when we've got so much going on all the time.
So tell me about what's your 5-year plan? What's your big plan? We're talking about growth, taking on more salons. Tell me more about that, Lynsey.
Yeah, sure. So franchising is a big part of that. So one of the biggest things that's sort of happened recently is me coming to the big decision of offering this branch, my own branch, as a franchise as well. So I'm currently...
Your baby.
My baby, yeah. Sending it down the river, come take it. But it's. I feel like I've got so much I want to do with the business, and I'm acutely aware of being spread too thinly you've got to focus down if you want to achieve that growth and success in any one area. And running this branch operationally, even though I do have an amazing team who do a lot of that, I still get pulled in, and I also want to be pulled in. So sometimes I feel like I need to have another owner operator come in as the franchisee, run this branch. I can continue to support them, and they will dedicate all their time and passion. And for me, parts of the business that I love is mentoring and supporting the franchisees, looking after them, training them. So the more time I've got to focus on that, the more I can grow it. And then the cosmetics range is a big passion as well. So we have a subscription parcel. I'm really intrigued by that subscription model. It was an amazing thing that helped us get through lockdown because, it was part of the business we could actually grow. Whilst other parts were obviously closed down. So that was great, and I want to refocus on that again, get that moving in terms of growth of subscribers. So yeah, that's the focus big really. Yeah, I'd like to have a franchise across every city in the UK, and keep growing our cosmetics range, bringing new products in. Yeah.
No, it's great. I think classic entrepreneur challenge, working on the business and not in the business. Yeah. And I'm hearing a plan, which is great. You're quite right. I think that subscription model was a huge learning during COVID, wasn't it? A huge transition, a massive pivot that a lot of businesses have been doing. Yeah. So that's good. So you've got your subscription model, you've got your franchise model, and what else? What else is on the cards, Lynsey?
So we're always working on bringing more people into this venue as well, and looking at what over time with the lockdowns and then people coming out of that and having this real realization that creating memories is
Yes.
actually a really valuable thing to do, as opposed to necessarily things and stuff and all that. So that's what we really try to, you know, engage our customers in and make them really see that coming and doing this fun experience and challenging yourself with having a makeover or transformation things is really just a pleasant and rewarding, you know, gift to yourself, to pamper yourself and look after yourself. So that's a real focus, and really just navigating this again. You know, cost of living is an element to us. We need to think about that. We need to think about how that impacts our customer base's spending. You know, is it important to them anymore to spend £45 on getting their hair done to go out? Maybe not. So how else do we bring them in and engage them and get them interested in other things that they may see as important to them to spend their hard-earned and precious money on right now? You know, we are a nice to have type of service. We're not you know, a utility or something that people have to have. So we constantly have to rethink our copy and our wording and how to engage people.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Lynsey, that's been incredible. Listening to your journey, your growth, you know, 12 years established business and your franchising and growth. So thank you so much for sharing that. And you're right, I think it's that experiences process and experience is really important for people, especially at a time like this. So, and your skills and your growth in investing in other people is wonderful as well. So thank you so much for everything you've told me today and all our listeners. And now back over to the studio. Thank you.